Hi, kangaroos. Last day of Arctic Polar Week. Get excited. We're going to start in on deserts next week. Parents, we sent you a note on that because a lot of Desert Week is sand. Sand is kind of huge for Desert Week. We know that could be challenging. If you'd like to order sand, go for it. We're trying to come up with all kinds of things else you could do, including salts that you could dye, coffee grounds, rocks, beans, even rice. You could make, a dirt concoction out of that. A lot of that will be used next week. More to come on that. We'll also supply some extra, general art activities using some of those things. So if you really need to sub out something, go for it. We have a book called Art with Everything. So that should be a useful resource. In the meantime, though, back to the last day of Arctic Polar Week. It's Friday, which means it's Magic School Bus Day. So check out episode 1 of season 3 called The Magic School Bus in the Arctic. If that's wrong, I'm sorry. Just look it up. It's there. And that should be awesome. Good way to talk, just complete our week like we like to do so that there's a little fun extra learning through an educational show. Check it out. So getting into our lesson plans today for language arts, we have one of my favorite books my mom used to read me all the time called Mama, Do You Love Me by Barbara Juice, I'm going with. Wonderful book. You can find it online. There's also a little feature film if you want to watch like a little 20-minute episode of it. It's a really cool book. I'm sorry I don't actually own it. I think it's at the school somewhere. It's another one of those that floats around, and we didn't get to grab it when we went on quarantine, so I apologize for that. I also added, though, just for fun, The Three Snow Bears by Jan Brett. That's another really cool one that I usually get from the library, but it's awesome because it's Goldilocks and the Three Bears, but instead of that, it's the Three Snow Bears. It's polar bears. It's in the Arctic. It's with an Inuit girl. So you can look at Inuit culture portrayed in those two different books and compare it to your own families and your own way of life and just get a chance to explore that way. We'll have more of that later to come too in other parts of the lesson plan. So cognitive development today, we kind of touched on this already when we did 3D shapes, but now's the time where the real goal is making an igloo. Use toothpicks and marshmallows, use sugar cubes, use ice cubes, use whatever you got. Try to think about that dome shape that comes with the igloo. I gave you some igloo images to look at, and it should be a cool building activity. You could try Legos, guys. I didn't even put that on there. A Lego igloo would probably work out really well. See what you can do. Science and nature studies today. You're going ice fishing, but not like fishing in the ice for fish, which is actually what they do in the Arctic. Instead, you're going to actually try to pick up ice cubes using a string. You're going to do that by pinching a little bit of salt on top of the string as it lies on the ice. And that kind of refreezes the water. It like melts it enough, and then it freezes again, and then the string actually sticks to the ice, and you can pick it up. It's a cool experiment to try. Give it a shot. Use the items. See what it takes to actually make it happen. Enjoy that. Creative art today. You're going to be painting with frozen paint. This takes some prep work. I added a picture there for you guys to see. It's like a picture image with instructions on how one might make ice paint. You really just got to freeze it. You can use toothpicks or popsicle sticks if you have them. If you don't, it really doesn't matter. It's fun anyway. If that takes too much prep time, the good backup is always that you just throw the ice down on a tray in a bin and you just paint on top of it. It's always a lot of fun anyway to just do that. So I hope you enjoy creative art today. Music and movement is a fun game that we often played with some of the toddler classrooms, but you can expand it out a little bit so that you are able to use Arctic animals instead. So the song is called Sleeping Bunnies, and you sing the song, and all the kids are going to go down and they're going to pretend to sleep. So it goes, sleeping bunnies, all so still, and this is when they'll be sleeping. And then after you wait, and they'll be waiting, they'll be ready, they'll wait for it, they'll go, wake up sleepy bunnies, hop, 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 hop. So you use that song, and instead you can sub it out for Wake Up Sleepy Seals. Arr, arr, arr. Or Wake Up Sleepy Polar Bears. Or Wake Up Sleepy Penguins. Waddle, waddle, waddle. Should be fun if you get a chance to do some singing, especially if you got some toddler siblings in your house. This is a great one. Let's see, social science. We're getting back to Inuit culture and the Native Americans of the Pacific Northwest. So in this, you really just get to see some of the clothing that they would wear and some of their artwork. And as an addition, you've got a coloring page for their clothing and some coloring pages of the artwork. This always reminded me that I'm missing the book When Raven Steals the Sun. We read that during Weather Week, and everybody loved that one, and everybody had a really good time trying to draw that raven. I remember Sawyer and Sam, you guys did a great job trying to draw that. So these Pacific Northwest coloring pages will be very similar to that. So I hope you enjoy those. Motor skills. We're back to igloos because that's what the Inuits lived in. They needed that. They used what they had to make their homes. So this had, I attached a cool diagram showing you that you actually had to go under the snow to come back up, because that was a way to keep the heat into the igloo. And they had like a little vent in the top to let some of the heat out, because they would, in fact, have small fires and things in there. So, try to do this in your house. Use blocks if you have them. Use chairs, use tables, sheets. Make an igloo. It's like a fort. Have a great time. Computer lab. Last thing today is just a cool Arctic memory game. I always enjoy this one. It's pretty straightforward. It's just on National Geographic Kids website, and you can find it with the link there and play that game. You can do easy, medium, or hard, and just see those animals. Review the names, see if you remember all the names of the animals. I hope you have such a great time with this, guys. It's been such a fun week. I love Arctic Week. That's all I got for you, so enjoy.